Two Kids and a Career is a production of Jill Devine Media.
Two Kids and a Career is brought to you by Blondin Real Estate. They're a family-owned boutique-style brokerage with over 40 years of experience serving the counties that surround St. Louis. See the properties they have to offer at blondinrealestate.com. That's blondinrealestate.com. Hi there, and welcome to Two Kids and a Career. I'm Jill Devine. As an entrepreneur, wife, and mama, the daily grind of trying to build a business while taking care of kids and trying to maintain a healthy connection with my hubby, it's a lot. With this podcast, you're going to hear candid conversations with other moms, parenting experts who can share their knowledge and insight, or you'll just hear me rambling to get it all out. There's going to be tears, there's going to be laughter, but most importantly, there will be support. Take a listen and connect with me so we can grow and learn from one another. This is Two Kids and a Career. Welcome to episode 57 of the podcast, and also the last episode of season 4. I will be taking a 2-week break to wind down, I guess I should say. You know what happens over the holidays. Everybody kind of checks out. So I'm going to check out for a little bit, and I will return with season 5, and that is going to be happening on January 6th. And I will remind you, because I know that a lot of people might be absent on social media for a little bit of time during the holidays, and you might forget. So don't you worry. I got you covered. I will keep you updated through social media. Speaking of, you can follow me on Instagram at Jill Devine, also Jill Devine Media on Facebook, and at Jill Devine Radio on Twitter. And you can also go to my website, jilldevine.com, and everything's usually updated there. That's really where you will find everything in case I miss something on one of the social media outlets. But again, I will be taking a 2-week break to celebrate the holidays with my family, and I hope that you are able to do the same. And then we will start back up with season 5, January 6th. We will continue to launch new episodes on Wednesdays, so that's not going to change. And I will continue to shout out some supermoms, which I will have another supermom to shout out at the end of this episode. This episode, I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to talk a little bit about what this last year has taught me, and I actually posted about this on Instagram, so you may know a little bit about my story because you read that, but if not, you're going to get to hear it here. And then the second part of this episode, I want to talk about some small businesses, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's first get to what has been going on with me and what the last year has taught me. On December 5th, I posted a lengthy post because it marked the 1-year anniversary of me losing my job. And I wanted to talk about what was happening with me during some of that time and what I have said a couple of times, what this year has taught me. So here's that post, and I will chime in here and there. On this date 1 year ago, December 5th, 2019, I was not smiling. I was experiencing every emotion except happiness. 1 year ago, I lost my job. It wasn't just a job to me. It was my career. It was my livelihood. It was my identity. It's where I spent a little over 20 years of my life doing some amazing things in the community, meeting some really cool people along the way, experiencing music with a different perspective, and gaining more appreciation for the inner workings of the music community. Many people, and I would say myself included, thought I would land another radio job sooner than later. Between the pandemic and the loss of my job, I've experienced some of the darkest days of my life over the past year. But I want to tell you what else happened in the last year. I was able to spend a lot of quality time with my family. So when I was working, and I know this might not be a long commute for some, but anyone in the St. Louis area usually says this is a long commute. It would take me about an hour to get to work and then an hour and a half to get home. And that was with moderate traffic. You throw in accidents or crazy weather and miserable. So by the time I would get home from work, there wasn't a lot of time to spend with my family. And it was a rush. So being able to have that time to actually want to learn a new recipe to make my family, to have that extra time was so great. Now, I will not lie. The entire time spent together over the last year with my family, that added time, it wasn't glorious. But I was able to learn a lot about myself and the things that I need in order to be the best version of myself. I am a constant work in progress, but I am recognizing it and I am doing what I can to be the best version of me. The other thing that happened in the last year, I became an entrepreneur with the development of Jill Devine Media. It is home to my podcast, Two Kids in a Career, and it is home to so many other amazing things and some amazing things that are on the horizon that I can't wait to share with you. I am so incredibly thankful for the ladies at Evoke Creative. They guided me, they supported me, and they invested in me to make my small business dream become a reality. Seriously, if it wasn't for those two women at Evoke Creative, I don't know that I would be able to be doing as much as I am right now. I can't thank them enough. The business is growing and it's expanding, and I have interns, and I never thought that I would have an intern, but I never thought I would be an entrepreneur, a small business owner. So it's been fantastic. The other thing that happened this past year, a special person from my church, Messiah Lutheran in St. Charles, Missouri, saw something in me that I definitely didn't see in myself. So fast forward, and I am now working for my church. I'm in ministry. What? That is so crazy. If you would have told me 10 years ago that this was going to happen, I definitely would have been like, okay, whatever. I'm loving what I'm doing. And to expand upon that a little bit more, I am the community groups coordinator. So our church has community groups where we want people to come together and grow spiritually and relationally and just be there for one another and just show that you don't want to live in isolation, that the power of community is just so big, and just learning about Jesus and God. I mean, it's just been so fulfilling in just the short amount of time that I've been there. It's incredible, and God's plan is truly indescribable. Now, I won't lie. There are days I think about what happened a year ago, and a lot of the emotions take over. I can honestly say a lot of it is a blow to your ego. And I can say, though, that the pain and the hurt has definitely decreased because I've put a lot of work into myself. A lot of self-help books that I've read, talking to certain professionals and making sure I'm surrounding myself with the best people and the most positive people definitely has helped a lot. And like anything, it's a process. I am a work in progress and will continue to be. What I can positively say is that I am happy and I have a positive outlook for the future. I really hope those dark days are slim to none. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It would be wrong for me to think that I'm never going to have a dark day again, but I definitely feel better equipped to handle those days. And also working on myself, I'm going to try to prevent those days from happening. Maybe they won't be so dark. They'll just be mildly dark, if that's the best way to describe it. I know there are going to continue to be ups and downs, not just for me, but for many people, because we all know the pandemic is not going away on 1/1/21 as much as we would like it to. But I'm hoping that some of the negative things we've all experienced, we can turn into positive things or can work on it. And I just encourage you to not give up and to just keep trying and reach out, whether it's to a family member or a best friend or me. just know that you are not alone, and you will be able to get through this. Whatever it is you're going through, there's a plan. Just please know it. I mean, I have personally witnessed it this last year. It's an incredible testimony. All right, so the second half of this podcast, I want to talk about small businesses, and I will explain that in a minute, but best transition to talk about small businesses is to talk about one that has supported me from the very beginning, and that is Blondin Real Estate. As with everything, you have lots of choices, and you have lots of choices when it comes to real estate. But there's a reason why you should go with Blondin Real Estate. I can say from firsthand experience why. They got me into my first home, and they're going to get me into my last home. I know that for a fact. But what's so great is they can specifically tell you what would best fit your needs based on your lifestyle. Do you want lots of land? Do you want a little bit of land with maybe a lake not too far away? Do you need a home that can accommodate your hobby, whatever it is? You like to collect cars, you like to collect a bunch of stuff, and you need a basement to showcase it. It's like they have this menu for you and they say, oh, that's what you want? All right, let me show you. Because they do the research. They go out and they look at the community. They try to have it all lined out for you so that when you come to them, you get exactly what you want. They're incredible. They take the real estate game to the next level, and it's just been a joy to work with them on this podcast and also personally. So I strongly encourage you to check out blondinrealestate.com. That's blondinrealestate.com for more information. And you can also see their information on the show notes at jilldevine.com. So with small businesses, one of the things that I've always been supportive of, small businesses. And it really ramped up this year because of the pandemic. I started the small business shout out once businesses were able to start opening up again after the stay-at-home orders were lifted. And it just hit me because I have a lot of friends that are small business owners, the struggle that they were going through and continue to go through. And I thought, man, we've got to get their information out there to people. Maybe there are people that don't even know they exist. So yes, I started the small business shout out where I reached out to a bunch of different small business owners and said, would you be willing to share your story, the good, the bad, and the ugly? A lot of these small business owners who submitted their story to me said it was very therapeutic to write it all out and to not sugarcoat the things that they were going through. And the small business shout outs that you can read their story right now at jilldevine.com include Paint Nail Bar St. Louis, Steve's Hot Dogs, STL Veg Girl, Go Fit Mom, Robust Wine Bar, The Color Room, and KMG. So that started, and then, and I continued to do whatever I could to support small businesses on social media and share their stories and whatever I could do. But then you started thinking about the holidays, and you started realizing, oh my gosh, we have Black Friday, we have Small Business Saturday, we have Cyber Monday, and while we need to support these small businesses all the time, especially during the holidays. I heard from so many people that said that all they wanted to do was make sure all their gifts for the holiday season were bought from small businesses, bought locally. And I thought that was a fantastic idea. So one of the things that I did, and this all came to through some interactions on social media, I wanted to start showcasing some Small Business Saturday options, like the different deals some small businesses would be giving. And there was one woman in particular that I talked to, Casey Brick. She owns Brick Creative, and they do these placemats for kiddos where there's a design on the front and that has the kiddo's name, and on the back there's an activity that they can do, and you use dry erase markers, so it helps mama and daddy when they just need a little bit of time to cook dinner or actually eat their dinner, these placemats are fantastic. So it started with Casey, really, where we said, we really want to support small businesses. So why don't you send me some ideas and then I'll send you some ideas. And we just started creating social media post around it. And I created a blog post, and all these small businesses that were doing a big special for Small Business Saturday, we both tried to feature them. And what I learned from the holidays, being able to support small, I learned that we've got to continue to support them after the holidays. So many small businesses have closed because of the pandemic, and it's just awful. Like, it just breaks my heart, because a lot of small businesses are created out of passion and out of love. And it's what fueled them. I mean, it was a business, but they didn't really think of it as a business. It was more of they just wanted to fill their bucket. So I wanted to take part of this podcast episode and tell you about some small businesses to consider if you need a last minute Christmas gift or to think about in the future. Just mark this episode or go to the show notes at jilldevine.com and keep a note of all the different possibilities to keep some of these businesses in business. Let's start with Pistols and Vixens, a mom and daughter fun, cute little boutique, and that is located at the Meadows in Lake St. Louis. There's the Milk and Honey Boutique and Wine Bar located in Wildwoods. Addie's Way is owned by a woman by the name of Lisa. She is so sweet, so supportive of other small businesses. She has jewelry and different apparel items that are so fun. She can be best found online, addiesway.com, ADDYS, and then WAY.com. But she also does some pop-ups, specifically St. Peter's and in the Cottleville area. St. Louis cheese boards. Okay, I cannot say the words, but the big trend, I feel like, has been those charcuterie boards. Did I say it right? I know I didn't. But like, you look at it and it's a work of art. You don't even want to eat it, but you do want to eat it because it just looks so delicious. St. Louis cheese boards can hook you up. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery. It was so nice to see them come out to the county in Lake St. Louis, and the fact that they also offer so many different options to meet dietary needs. Plus, Oprah loves their ice cream. If you're looking for a little organization in your life, and really, who isn't? I have the perfect solution. Kelly is the owner of Organized Interiors, and she is just incredible. She loves supporting other women and other small businesses, and she is just great as far as figuring out what would best suit your life. Like, she doesn't just do a cookie cutter situation. She says, okay, here's what I think would be best for your needs with this and that. And you can see some different things that she has done for me and some blogs that she's written for me at jilldevine.com. Another great one, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience with her, is Delicate Flower Soaps. Chrissy is the owner, and you can find a lot of her products at different retail locations. You can learn more at delicateflowersoaps.com. But I reached out to Chrissy because of my photographer that does all my branding photos, Nicole at PMP Images. Well, I knew that she worked with Chrissy, and so I said, oh, can I get her contact info? We're looking to have some local products and put them in these at-home boxes that we're giving to people that are going to be watching Christmas Eve services at home for the church that I work for. And I contacted Chrissy, and she was just fantastic to work with. We had quite a big order that we were looking for, and she was able to fulfill it quickly for us, which was just so fantastic. So she is a really good person to work with. Somebody else that did that was Christy at Primo Play-Doh. We wanted to have some kiddos get a little activity in the box for them when they were at home. And I love her Play-Doh because, well, A, it's a small business, locally made and not made with a bunch of ingredients that are, and B, like she takes her Play-Doh and makes it centered around the holidays. So it's scented Play-Doh for the winter, and she does scented Play-Doh for summer and all the different holidays. She's fantastic to look at for definite kid activities if you're looking for some of that. Just the Play-Doh, just support local. And I know there are so many more that I am missing. And that's the beauty, though. We're going to continue to keep supporting small businesses from here on out. So if you have one that you think that I should check out or I should feature, just email me, hello@jilldevine.com. I would love to give them a shout out because it's so important. Again, anytime you are thinking about a gift, please consider supporting small. Those small businesses could really use your help from here on out. And if you didn't realize it, every time you listen to this podcast, you are supporting small because I'm a small business owner. And when I have people like Blondin Real Estate and Evoke advertise within this podcast, you're supporting small by listening to their story. So that's a really big deal to me. It's a big deal to them, and it's very much appreciated. Let's get to it. Let's find out this week's Supermom. The Supermom shout out this week is going to Amber. Tony nominated Amber of Winsville, Missouri, and says she's an employee of mine and a mom of, wait for it, 8 kids. And she and her husband both work full time. She is so kind and always makes it to work, even if things get rough at home. She believes in her kids being as individually unique as possible and is a mama bear like I have never seen. And she does it with grace. I am lucky to have her on my team. Amber, I see you and I support you. You can do exactly what Tony did and send me an email, hello@jilldevine.com, and nominate a supermom in your life, and they'll get that supermom shout out. All I need, her name, where she's from, and why she deserves the shout out. And I want to thank you for supporting 2 Kids in a Career, whether this is your first episode or you've listened to every single episode. I really, truly appreciate it. You can follow along for updates at Jill Devine on Instagram, or you can go to jilldevine.com. And I would love if you could subscribe and rate and even review the podcast. That helps out tremendously. And as always, just listening is enough to make me so thankful. So thank you for your support and for listening to 2 Kids and a Career.